Hey guys, Happy New Year. Excited to be here. I wanted to hop on. I'm going to start doing lives a couple of times a month and just share a little bit about my experience, my journey. About 6 months ago, I came on and told you guys that I was leaving the corporate world and going out on my own and starting my own business. And it's been about 6 months, and I get a lot of questions of people being like, how did you do that? What did you do? What led up to that? So I figured with this being the beginning of the year and everybody setting goals and declaring what, they're going to do this year and all of the big dreams, everybody's all optimistic. And I love seeing my Facebook feed with everybody and everything they're planning to do this year. I thought that I would just kind of get on and share my story. If you told, like last year, starting my own business was not even on my timeline. If you told me that I would be leaving the security of the corporate world and starting my own business, I would have told you you were absolutely crazy. But, I had the year before that, 2018, I really started, I did a lot of traveling, a lot of self, exploration and kind of searching within to figure out who I am, who I want to be, what I want to do, and what fulfills me. And I realized that I've been really, really fortunate. I have a good life. My parents, raised me well. I did all the things that everybody tells you you're supposed to do. I went to school, I got a degree, I got married, I had a kid, then got divorced. Not that society tells you to do that by any means, but point being is I had a good life. And by all, outward measures, I was deemed successful. But in 2018, I realized something was missing. I didn't know what that was. And I know, I hear a lot of you guys saying the same thing, that you're, something's not right, but I don't know what it is. So I was frustrated. And so I traveled, I focused on my career. I did the things, I shopped a lot. I did things to distract me, but in doing so, I also learned a lot about myself. And those distractions, they kept coming back. That complacency, the feeling like I was settling, it all kept coming up. And what I realized is that I wasn't fulfilled anymore. Like I didn't feel a sense of purpose. I'd been at my company at this point for 9 years or so. I was excuse me, I was hired as the fourth employee. So now looking back, I can kind of look at that and say it was almost like entrepreneur light, right? I didn't have any of the financial risks and fears that went along with it, but I really got to be involved in creating something and building something and knowing that every single day, every single task that I did, all of the work that I did was making a difference. It was creating something. And over the course of now, it ended up being 11 years, the company grew and it's super successful and went from being employee number 4. Well, I still was employee number 4, but to a company of over, 600-700 people. So it's like I was just another cog in the wheel, right? Like I was part of the machine. I didn't feel that sense of fulfillment. And then you have the mom guilt starts piling on with all of that. And yes, Karen, feeling fulfilled is important. And it took a lot of time to figure out what would fulfill me. And that's kind of the story that I'm telling you guys. But the mom guilt, feeling like, what kind of example am I setting for my son? I'm working all the time, but I'm not fulfilled. I'm settling, right? So it was January of last year. A friend invited me to go to the Grant Cardone 10X conference in Miami. I had been doing a lot of self-improvement work, self-development, self-growth, reading books, attending webinars, doing things, like that, but I'd never gone to a live, to a conference, to an event where it was all of these like-minded people. I had no idea what to expect. I pretended to be excited. It was, Miami in January. So, yep, check that box. I'm going to go. Pretended to be excited, but really I was scared because I didn't know what to expect. And hey, Casey, I didn't know what to expect. And I felt, what I did expect, honestly, was it to be that whole, woo-woo, how to become a better me, drink the Kool-Aid thing. And my father had gone through all of these seminars, throughout his entire life, always. My sister and I used to always joke, and we'd be like, oh, Dad's going to another How to Become a Better Me seminar. And like, now here I am. But what I realized was that it wasn't that at all. It was a different crowd. It was different energy. The crowd was a bunch of entrepreneurs, all of these people who they were focused on growing their business. They were focused on their personal growth. They were focused on success. And that energy really was contagious. And if you guys know me, I am emotional. Does not take much to get me to cry. But about halfway through the second day, it was a 3-day conference, about halfway through the second day, just crying, just sitting in the bleachers, just tears, just streaming. And it was like, I didn't know what was gonna change, but I realized at that point that like, there are possibilities, right? I don't have to be stuck in this place of complacency and monotony and just doing the same thing every single day. And like I said, I didn't know what was going to fulfill me, but I realized that it was this sense of community and the truly practicing, surrounding yourself with like-minded people and completely, focusing on yourself and the things that you can do to improve your life. So I made personal growth, like I made it my passion. I read, I attended seminars, I joined webinars, I went to conferences, and I joined all these Facebook groups and, interacting with like-minded people. Still didn't know what was going to change, but what I started implementing throughout this is, affirmations, a little bit of meditation, realizing that when I focus on the things that I want instead of the things that I don't want, that starts to become your belief, right? So before I was so in my head about everything and well, what if this and what if that? And the thing is that I don't have control over those things. What is the point in worrying about it? So that's one of the things that I really want to share with you guys is, our brains don't ever stop going. They're constantly, but sometimes we are self-sabotaging ourselves by doing that. So in July, I went to an event hosted by an organization called Life on Fire. You guys have probably seen me post about Life on Fire and the Abundance event. And this was the event that, honestly changed the course of my life. So it's 4 days and it is all just personal growth, and pretty much cried the entire 4 days. And it's not the break you down to build you back up type of personal growth. It's just you're realizing things about yourself that you didn't realize because they're asking these questions and you're doing these activities that like the answers, like I had the answers inside of me all along, but I didn't know what they were until people started asking the right questions. So we did this activity, and basically the idea of it is really getting down deep to the core of what you want. And I don't want to go into the whole activity, but basically you have a couple of people asking you, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? And the idea is that people are talking to you and you're hearing all of these things and you don't have time to think. So you're searching within your heart. Hey, Katie. Hey, Carly. Oh my goodness. So many people. I love you guys. This is so great to see your names. Laurie, Hannon, Kathy, John. Okay, back to it. So anyway, so they're doing this and I get down to it. They're like, what do you want? I want, success. I want to be happy. I want to, but really getting down to, I want to be a good mom. I want to be all the things that you want. I want to travel. I want financial freedom, all the things. Hey, Rachel. So getting down to it, what I ultimately realized is I want purpose. I want to make a difference. I want to create the experience that I just had. So, I'm sharing my message with you guys in hopes that I can make a little bit of a difference, maybe impact your life in some way. But really, that was the moment that it all became clear. And it was like, I want to plan events just like this one. I've been an event planner for my entire life. That's what I do, events and marketing, but the events is what I love. So, you know, that's what I want to do. And so then, you know, being in a group of people who are completely goal focused and mission driven and heart centered is, you know, okay, well, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to make that a reality? So I was relieved to have figured out, like, okay, I knew the community was going to help me figure out what needed to change. Now I realized what I was going to change. And now the fear set in, like, holy crap, the fear. And so the fear turned to tears. And I learned that part of really, you know, chasing your dreams and holding yourself accountable is public declaration. So I stood up at this conference. There was about 100 people in the room crying, just crying. And I publicly declared that within 3 months, I was going to resign from my comfortable corporate job of 11 years, the same company of 11 years, to start my own business. So if I wasn't afraid before I said that, the fear after that was like, oh my God, now I just told 100 people this is what I'm going to do. And, you know, it's sad, but sometimes, like, we can let ourselves down and we'll beat ourselves up about it. But, like, I just told 100 people I'm going to do something. Well, now I'm going to do it, damn it. So here's where I stepped out of my comfort zone in such a huge way. I'm a single mom. I had just bought a house in December. You know, I have financial responsibilities and I have been comfortable and, you know, living with the security of a paycheck. And I am about to walk away from all of that to do something that I know will fulfill me. So, you know, I actually did it. And I said I was going to do it within 3 months. I was in the midst of planning a conference, you know, their largest conference of the year, and I didn't want to leave them in a bad position. But once I admitted, you know, declared to myself and to others that this is what I was going to do, I had to do it. Like, I think 6 or 7 weeks later, I actually put in my resignation. I formed my LLC, and I turned my employer into my first client. So, you know, super excited about that. And, you know, it gave me that security as I started to build up my business and do all of the work. But I think the whole point of what I'm trying to say to you guys is that you might not know what exactly it is that you want to do. You might not know how you're going to get there, and it's going to be uncomfortable. Like, every single day is uncomfortable. Every single day is a challenge. I am living outside of my comfort zone. And I'm learning that that is the life of an entrepreneur. Like, that is part of it, but you don't grow until you step out of your comfort zone. So I just want to, like, I'm not saying this to try and impress you or anything like that. What I want to do is just get you guys to think about the idea of stepping out of that comfort zone, realizing that you don't grow until you do that, that take all of that fear and uncomfortability that you have and channel it, turn that into passion and use it to go after what you want to do. We all humans have so much more potential than we realize, but we let fear limit us. Fear holds us back. Fear is one of those emotions that can be crippling if you allow it. So I encourage all of you guys to, you know, even if you aren't clear on what you want, you can take the next step to do something to get clear. Face your fear, figure it out, and do something about it, because the worst thing in the world is living with regret, right? Or wondering what if. So don't let fear hold you back. Channel it, turn it into passion, choose courage over fear, and don't wait to do it, you know? So that's the kind of quick version of my story. Might have got a little rambly there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to, you know, every other week I'm going to pop on here. I'm going to share a little bit about my personal stories about, you know, becoming an entrepreneur, what that looks like. I'm going to share, tips and tricks about event planning. I'm next week, or my next one, I think I'm going to talk about just Be Bright, the company, not the company, but how I came to that, what that means to me, how I chose the colors, the logo, all of that kind of stuff. Because there's a lot of meaning in that for me that really speaks to who I am, the decisions that I'm making, and why I made this massive, massive, exciting, scary, but exciting change in my life. So if you guys are in a place where you want to make a change, where there's something scary, where there's something holding you back, I know there are a lot of people that I've talked to that are in the same corporate space that I was, and they know what they want to do, and they want to jump, and they want to take that leap and figure it out as they go. I would love to talk to you about it. I'm sitting here, I'm living proof that, if you believe in yourself, if you do the work, you will figure it out as you go, and that you can do, my mom told me my whole life, you can do whatever you want to do. And she's right, you can, but it all starts with you. You have to believe, you have to face your fear, and you have to do the work. So I hope that you guys have a great day, afternoon, morning, wherever you are. It was great to see so many of your names popped up. Thank you for joining me and supporting me in my journey. And I look forward to sharing more in a couple of weeks. Have a great day.